Irish mythology is filled with gods, heroes, and monsters, but few are as enigmatic or evocative as the Fomorians. At once alien and familiar, monstrous and majestic, they haunt the mythic imagination as a people of darkness, sea, and shadow. They are described as deformed giants, one-eyed and one-limbed, yet also as noble rulers, seductive figures, and even ancestors of heroes. Their tales are preserved in medieval manuscripts such as the Liber Erin, the Book of the Taking of Ireland, where they emerge as Ireland's first great adversaries, oppressors of settlers, enemies of the divine Tuatha the Danann, embodiments of chaos against order. But the Fomorians are more than simple villains. They are an ancient reflection of natural forces, of colonial memory, and of the human need to imagine the threatening other at the edge of the known world. To explore them is to enter the dark mirror of Irish myth itself. The very name carries mystery. In Old Irish foe means under or below, and scholars debate whether the second part relates to muir, sea, more, great, or even to an ancient root meaning phantom or demon. Thus, the Fomorians could be the undersea ones, the great ones from below, or the nether phantoms. Each possibility reveals something essential. They are sea raiders, arriving from beyond the horizon. They are giants, immense in stature and power. They are demons, spirits of the underworld and embodiments of dread. The ambiguity itself seems deliberate. The Fomorians exist at the border of language and imagination, beings that cannot be easily pinned down. The story of Ireland, as told in myth, begins with waves of settlers arriving to inhabit the land. Yet the Fomorians are already there, lurking in sea and shadow, ready to oppose or enslave. When Partholon, the first great leader, lands with his people, they encounter the Fomorians and clash at the Battle of Mag Itha. Partholon's forces win, seemingly clearing the land. But plague soon wipes his people out, and the Fomorians remain. Here already the myth sets its tone. The Fomorians are never easily defeated. They are not simply mortal enemies, but recurring forces of nature, returning when least expected. The next settlers come with Nem-Ed. He too defeats the Fomorians in several encounters, but after his death, they rise again, more oppressive than before. Nem-Ed's people are forced to pay a terrible tribute, 2/3 of their grain, cattle, and children. This cycle of oppression and resistance echoes through Irish history. The memory of tribute and enslavement of native peoples crushed by stronger invaders. Finally, the Nemedians revolt. They storm the tower of the Fomorian Lord Conand, killing him, but at such cost that almost all are destroyed in the aftermath. A few survivors scatter abroad, destined to return in later mythic waves. The greatest tales of the Fomorians concern their wars with the Tuatha the Danann, the shining divine race of Ireland. 2 great battles are fought at Mag Tord, the Plain of Pillars. In the second, the Fomorians are led by Balor of the Evil Eye, a monstrous chieftain whose single eye can kill with a glance. He is so terrible that when he lifts the lid of his eye, armies fall dead before him. Balor is not merely a monster, but the very image of destructive power. The scorching sun, the plague wind, the blast of catastrophe. Against him rises Lor of the Long Arm, grandson of Balor, through a forbidden union. Lor embodies brightness, skill, and sovereignty, a hero of every art. The climactic moment comes when Loak casts a slingstone into Balor's eye, blasting it through his skull so that its deadly gaze destroys the Fomorians themselves. With this act, the Tuatha Danann win victory, and the Fomorians are cast down. This story is more than mythic battle. It is the archetypal struggle of light against darkness, civilization against chaos, grandson overthrowing grandfather, the new world triumphing over the old. And yet the Fomorians are never wholly erased. They linger in bloodlines, in memory, in the shadow of myth. How do the Fomorians look? Accounts vary wildly. Some describe them as hideous deformities, one-eyed, one-armed, one-legged. Others say they were giants, towering over mortals. Still others show them as goat-headed or wearing goat masks, hinting at ritual origins. Yet not all are monstrous. Figures like Elatha are described as handsome and noble, and his son Bres, though half Fomorian, becomes king of the Tuatha, the Donan, though his rule proves tyrannical. This variety suggests that Fomorian does not mean a single monstrous race, but a category of the other. Outsiders, foreigners, those who dwell beyond the borders of the known. At the heart of the Fomorian myths lies symbolism. They are not just villains, they embody the forces that threaten life and order. Chaos versus order, they stand for disorder, opposed to the law and fertility of the Tuatha. Natural destruction, storms, blights, plagues, and charades are all personified in them. Colonial oppressors, their tribute demands echo the reality of conquest and enslavement. The alien other, they are foreign invaders, raiders from the sea, strangers who oppress. Through these roles, the Fomorians are mythic archetypes. They are the shadow that defines the light, the chaos that makes order meaningful. Though the Fomorians are a collective, certain individuals shine or darken more brightly. Balor of the evil eye, the destructive giant slain by law. Elatha, noble Fomorian, father of Bres. Bresmak Elatha, half Fomorian, king of the Tuatha, the whose tyranny reflects the dangers of foreign rule. Conand and Mork, lords who enslaved the Nemedians. Sickle Grisenkos, a hideous early Fomorian chief. These characters reveal the diversity of the Fomorians: monstrous, noble, tyrannical, tragic. When medieval monks recorded these myths, they sought to fit them into biblical history. Thus, genealogies traced the Fomorians back to Noah, making them part of a fallen world. In this retelling, they became almost like demons or giants descended from Cain. While this Christian lens reshaped them, it also preserved them, ensuring the Fomorians remained part of Ireland's mythic memory. The Fomorians belong to a wider family of mythological beings across cultures. Greek titans, primordial beings overthrown by the Olympians. Norse Jitna, chaotic giants who war and intermarry with the gods. Indian asuras, opponents of the devas, embodying cosmic opposition. In each case, we see an archetype, the primal adversaries of the gods, the necessary opponents in the cosmic drama. The Fomorians are Ireland's expression of this universal myth. Though defeated, the Fomorians never vanish. They remain in half-blood descendants like La. They live on in folklore, in whispers of giants and demons. They echo in Irish memory of foreign raiders, perhaps even recalling Viking incursions. They survive as the shadow of Ireland's mythic imagination, reminders that chaos is never fully destroyed, only held at bay. The Fomorians are more than monsters. They are chaos, sea, and shadow made flesh. They are oppressors demanding tribute, giants with goat faces, noble rulers and hideous demons. They are Ireland's titans, Gitna and Asuras, archetypes of the dark forces that civilization must always battle. Yet, in their defeat, The Fomorians also reveal their necessity. Without chaos, there is no order. Without the shadow, the light is meaningless. The Tuatha De Danann needed the Fomorians as their foils, just as humanity needs its myths of darkness to give meaning to light. To study the Fomorians is to glimpse the mythic imagination confronting its fears of the sea, of famine, of invasion, of the unknown. They are the timeless reminder that the world is never wholly tamed, that beneath the surface, in the deep waters and the dark corners, the Fomorians still wait. And that concludes our journey into the shadowed waters of Irish myth, where the Fomorians still stir beneath the waves and whisper through the ages. If you've enjoyed this exploration of chaos, sea, and shadow, be sure to subscribe to Britain's Haunted Tales for more myths, legends, and eerie histories from these islands and beyond. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment with your thoughts or perhaps your own encounters with the strange and the uncanny. Until next time, keep your lanterns lit, your ears open to the whispers of the past, and remember, the shadows are always closer than they seem.